All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this morning workshop. I guess we are all the survivors of the bar crawl yesterday, so thanks for making it. Our goal today is to have all of you guys leave this workshop knowing how to pick a use case for a successful voice product. Before I start, let me quickly introduce my team. The three of us work at Connected, which is a product development firm in Toronto, and we work with innovative technologies every day. So we sort of developed a framework for successful product development, and that's what we want to share with you today. So my name is Polina. I'm a product manager. Here's Tim. He's our product designer, and all the way back there you can see Guy. He's our engineering lead. Setting your expectations real quick. This is going to be a real hands-on intensive session. We will be working with teams, and we will be working pretty fast because we don't have a lot of time. So first things first, we need to form the teams. So can I ask people who are at the back to move forward, and your team will be your table. So I can see one team here. Can you move closer? Can I ask you to move closer and join the team here, please? Gentlemen at the back, can you move closer and join us here? All right. Keep moving. Thank you. Join any table that you like. It's going to be your team. Okay, perhaps these gentlemen at the front or here. Welcome, great, okay. Take 1 minute to very quickly say hi to your newly formed team and introduce yourselves. Amazing. So like I said, it's going to be quite intensive, so don't get scared if we don't answer all your questions. There are some of our cards on the table. Reach out to us after the workshop. We will work individually with each of you on your use case, which you come up with today. Second, hands up. We are going to be using some brand names. They are all fictional. We just use them to give you the business context faster. So let's jump ahead into picking the right use case for voice and for your business. We really think that this is an important thing to learn, because when a new technology like voice assistance appears, everybody feels like they have the hammer and everything looks like a nail. And so we can see a lot of companies understand that voice is the next big thing, but kind of nobody really knows what they have to build for voice and how to do it. So we can see a lot of companies going and just porting the existing user experience from mobile or from web into voice, and then they are kind of upset that it doesn't really succeed in the market. Or there is the other way around, when they look at the technology and pick some features which voice can do now and surface them to their users, but the users don't really want those features. So today we want to learn how to strike the right balance and pick a use case for a voice app which will definitely succeed in the market. So now we will start our exercise. We would like to challenge you guys with the first little exercise. So each team will receive 3 short case studies. All of them are about large companies who decided to build their first voice app. Together with your team, take a look at the case studies, and in 5 minutes, decide which do you think will succeed and which will not. And then we will have a discussion together around why you think that is a successful case study or not. You will have 5 minutes. At the end of the 5 minutes, you will hear a horrible sound. Don't get scared. That means the exercise is over. I will start giving out the cards. So these are for you. Just share. 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right, but, so this is important. So
Please. Yeah, yeah.
I'm in a team called Emerging Tech, and we're building for education, and so we're building things like this not because of us. So I work for a team in Emerging. Nobody in our age group.
Try to work together, maybe, read through the case studies and decide which ones are good. So there are 3 case studies, Spotify, Adobe, and Walmart. Try to decide which ones are a good idea. How is it going? Did you decide it? Did you agree to Did you agree together with your team? So you guys need to agree on one idea, so maybe it's a good thing to try and discuss. Did you decide which one is a success? Okay. Okay. We have 1 minute left. Did you pick a winner?
I can totally see we're getting close.
Okay. How are you guys doing? Did you manage to read all 3?
Yes,
Okay, did you pick which one?
like this one.
Oh, okay, why?
I think like these are too easy, if I could say that. Like trying to search for deals, I will be. I'm too lazy to do that, so it should probably tell me the deals, the things I buy. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you ask Alexa to do it, do you think it's a good thing? If she tells you what are the deals?
Tells me like things I usually buy, then it will do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Very good. Thank you so much. Let's now discuss together. All right? Thank you for the great discussion. Let's now take a look at the case studies one by one. So let's start with Spotify. So Spotify decided to build an Alexa skill which would only consist of lullabies for kids, so parents could use this skill in order to help their kids go to bed. Do you think it's is it a good product idea for voice or not really? Can one table volunteer? Please. Okay.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. You don't have a fancy name yet, but our team chose Spotify. We thought we were looking at it from 2 dimensions. One, what would customers
Great. Thank you so much. Does everybody agree? Yes? Okay, so I will, for the sake of time, I will provide a little bit feedback from us, and then we will let the other table volunteer on the next idea. So basically what Spotify did is amazing. So they first tried to find the user needs, and they looked at how users use Spotify, but also at how users use the actual smart speaker device in the home. And they combined these two, and they came up with a new value proposition for Spotify, which could actually be a new revenue stream for them, specifically for voice. So congratulations, Spotify. All right, how about Adobe Spark? Who could talk about this case study and think whether this use case is a good or not so good one for voice? Please.
Mixed opinions on this one, but I'll give my opinions. So and then a couple others. We were kind of wondering why, what was the matter. It seemed like something you do online.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just weren't clear that what was the compelling use case here for using voice.
So we are currently looking at the Adobe Spark one. With the Walmart? Adobe. So you saw that it's not really compelling for voice? Why not?
You know, I think voice, you want something where it's easier and faster and better using that modality. I don't think we saw that.
Remember those words. They should be carved here on the wall. Yes, so exactly. Voice isn't a good fit for everything. If it's faster to do something by hand, using mobile, using web, using the traditional media, voice first might not be the best product idea for you. All right? And the final case study, Walmart, who decided to create an Alexa skill and a Google action which would give you deals of the day at Walmart. Please. Mm-hmm.
We didn't agree on the Walmart one because there must be thousands of items from Walmart and very cumbersome as a user interface to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So you guys are already professional. So the Walmart case study is kind of curious because the value proposition itself, the idea of quickly asking, so what are the deals for me by voice, is kind of good, but it heavily relies on execution. If you create a conversational UI which would talk to you and say, oh, but what are you looking to buy? Are you looking to buy shoes? So, and it already knows your shoe size, your preference, your style, and would give you a recommendation of top 3 deals in Walmart and how to find them. That's an amazing tool. But if you plainly upload an alphabetic list of 100 items which are on sale, the users most likely just won't use the app. So this is our first little exercise, and I'm really glad that you got it right. But now we will move on to the more difficult one. So like we said, we will try to keep in mind the core 3 pillars for the product success on voice. And the first one is understanding user needs and understanding the full scope of user needs in your segment, not only the ones which your current product on mobile or web is already addressing. The second step is mapping this to voice and seeing whether this particular need can be satisfied by voice better than by other media. And finally, investigating the existing business assets. Of course, you want to start fast. You want to leverage something which your business already has and which is suitable for voice, and then move into creating new value propositions. So keep this in mind, and I will hand it off to Tim, our product designer, to run the most exciting part of this workshop with you, where you will actually come up with product ideas. Tim?
Thanks, Polina. Great, so we're going to jump right into talking about value proposition design and the process that we follow at Connected Lab. So it's a high-level look at the process we follow, which is almost like a scientific process. It helps reduce risk and it increases your chance for really good product fit and market success. Just pay attention, because afterwards we're actually going to run through this exercise for about 20 minutes individually in our teams, and you'll be able to apply directly what we talk about here. So if we go through the process, what we always start with at Connected is understanding user needs with user research. So this is interviewing and surveying real users to gain a deep understanding about their needs, and also rank these needs by priority, as well as mapping them back to the market to see which needs are not currently being met. What that does is help us to identify an area of opportunity, an area to focus on, to identify the needs that are both highly ranked in priority and also currently being underserved in the market. After identifying that area of focus and the area of opportunity, we get to kind of the most exciting part, which is what we're going to be doing today. We diverge. And so this is generating ideas for products that address the user needs and the area of focus, that opportunity that we found, and kind of trying to get as many as possible. So we do things like sketching or brainstorming techniques in order to do that. We then start to converge, so we're narrowing down and we're evaluating all of these ideas against different lenses. So we're looking at what is the potential business impact that this product idea might have. And we'll consider, is it appropriate for voice technology, like Polina was saying, or maybe the idea would actually, or the user need would actually be better addressed with a mobile app or a website. We'll also evaluate its uniqueness, but as well, technical feasibility. So we would be working with our engineers early in this process to evaluate if what we're thinking is actually possible. And lastly, we'll consider how these ideas align with the business strategy overall. Then we get into validation, and this is an iterative process. So once we go into this stage, we're taking those ideas that we evaluated and the few that seem really promising at addressing this area of opportunity, and we take those ideas a step farther. So we begin to validate by bringing in real users again. At this point, we're asking them questions through interview process, and just a question can sometimes invalidate an idea, and you do want to invalidate the idea as early as you can if it's not going to work. So you start with questions, but also low fidelity prototypes, because if you jump right into building a high fidelity prototype, you might waste a lot of time testing an idea that's not going to work. If you can get it out of the way early and focus on the things that are being validated, and then start building up the fidelity. So this is really an iterative cycle. We're not doing this step today. After this, once we've narrowed down, we're going to end up with a product idea that we see as a minimal viable product. So we're going to have a good definition on what our value proposition is, as well as a refined design that we can go ahead and build and release into the market. After we've released the MVP, we can take a look at the metrics, see how it's being received, and actually evolve the product. So at this point, we've gone through all of these steps, and what we've learned is that it's pretty predictable and it does reduce risks. So the majority of time, we're going to have a successful product fit. If we found that the metrics weren't working, we could go back and reevaluate. We could evolve the product more, or we may need to pivot. So for this exercise, we're going to focus on the first three steps. We're going to look at the user needs, we're going to diverge separate in groups, and then we're going to evaluate together our ideas. So here's the story. Longman Pearson is one of the world's largest publishers of ESL materials. They have a lot of different business assets. They make translation dictionaries, they make audiobooks, they make CD-ROMs and software, as well as other kinds of materials for students that are learning English. They also see voice as essential to their business in the future. Today, all of you guys are Longman Pearson's innovation team. So what you've already done is the initial user research, and so let's take a look at that quickly. This is the value proposition canvas, and it's a really great framework. If you're not familiar with it, highly recommend working with it. At Connected Lab, we always start with user research, and we leverage the value proposition canvas always. It's coincidental, but Longman Pearson's team also uses the value proposition canvas. Today we're going to focus on the right side of the canvas, which is the user profile. This lets you map really what the user needs are. So we build this out after doing initial user research, and you start with customer jobs. So the customer jobs are really the core things that your customer is trying to accomplish. What are they looking for when they're studying English? We talked to a lot of ESL users, and we heard different things. So we heard they want to improve their grammar, they want to expand their vocabulary, but kind of the root of those things would be that they want to be understood. There are also other user jobs, and Guy and Polina are going to pass a user profile around to all of their tables, your tables, and this will give you a little bit more in depth. So there are also other user jobs that you can consider. We also have pains. So these are things that people are struggling with, challenges that they face when they're trying to learn English. And something we heard from a lot of our users was they don't have enough speaking practice. So they go to classes and they have 30 students in these classes, and it's an hour long, and they may only get 1 or 2 minutes of actually speaking time, and then they go home and their parents are speaking their native language, and they don't have a chance to be immersed in the language and actually practice it. And there were a lot of other pains, so again, you'll review your user profile as a team, but I'll move on to gains. So what brings them joy? What gives them a sense of accomplishment from learning English? And something we heard from almost all of our users was they can travel and see the world. So learning English helps them a lot because they can get out and actually experience the world and be able to navigate it. So now it's your term, innovation team, Longman Pearson's innovation team. We're going to focus again on these first 3 stages. So we've already gone through some of the top level user needs, but we're all going to give you the user profile. So you'll want to evaluate that at the beginning as a team and really try to identify an area of focus or specific user needs that you would like to address with your product ideas. Once you've done that and agreed on an area of focus, we're going to diverge. So within your team, you've got some Sharpies and some stickies and some paper. Come up and discuss different ideas to address that area of focus and come up with different product ideas, and then after about 20-25 minutes, we're going to come back as a group and actually evaluate those ideas. So when you do diverge, you've got to narrow it down and agree on one specific product idea. And we all have these posters here. So you've got 2. One is just for sketching, but the one that has the number on it is going to be your poster. So put your final idea on here. You can communicate it in different ways, but a statement is good. And then afterwards, we'll go through and actually evaluate the ideas under this criteria. So this is your cheat sheet, and I'm going to leave this up here so you can see the stages, but also keep in mind the evaluation criteria as well here.
So how many ideas does one table come up with at the end? One. Okay.
Great.
This is the user profile. So we did real user research for this user segment. Take the time with your team to quickly look through the user profile, pick one area of focus, and start ideating for this area. You guys have 25 minutes for this exercise, so time yourselves, but we will give you some points in time. And if you have some questions, put your hand up. We will come around and help you.
Finish off your posters, and then we're going to sound the alarm.
Ten seconds, 9 seconds, 8, 7. Ten more seconds. Okay, let's put our pencils down at this point. I know it's a workshop. Like I said, reach out to us. We will refine your idea, or if you have any more ideas for voice speakers, we are happy to help you with them. We have 10 minutes left, so let's do one by one. We will do our best to try and present each idea. If we don't have enough time, sorry guys, we really appreciate your work today. Try to present your idea in 1 minute, very short elevator pitch. We are going to present our ideas right now. Can I see you put your pencil down? Put your pencil down. I know it's okay, you can talk to it. All right, so who would like to volunteer and start? All
Okay.
right.
Oh, Noah is being voluntold to stand up.
Yes.
So, our product helps users enjoy developing speaking proficiency through read-along practice. So essentially, it expands on the existing business assets that Pearson has, which are textbooks and stories, except that now at home you can be designated to a certain place, such as page 20, line 43, and read along and get some help with your pronunciation, or ask Alexa or Google Home to read and listen to how it should be pronounced or to follow along. So this will help users develop that proficiency in speaking and feel more comfortable while also getting feedback on how to improve that.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. A round of... So that's a very interesting idea. Let's take a look at our evaluation criteria. So did they leverage the existing business assets? I think that's immediate, really nice. And did they address any pain points or user needs? I think the pain point of not meeting or finding new words in text and not knowing how to pronounce them is the reason behind why a lot of non-native speakers mispronounce some words for ages, and then nobody corrects you because they're too shy or too polite. So that's a tick as well. How about voice as a technology? I think for technical validation, we would need you, but it feels like voice is a great medium here, because Alexa is not your teacher, it's there with you all the time in the home, and getting the pronunciation from Alexa and actually getting Alexa to understand you is a great step for an ESL student. All right?
Might actually be really well suited for screen smart speakers like the Alexa show as well, because the workbook could in fact actually just be on the screen. Cool.
All right. Can I volunteer another table here to present?
Okay, so our product is called Practical Dialogue. Oh, thank you. It is a fun and easy way to self-tutor conversational skills in practical situations. So a person could either choose a subscription or pay by skill set. So say you're a non-native speaker and you want to practice, I'm going to the library today and I want to figure out how to check out a book, that it would walk you through the steps. It would prep you with vocab, so that you would be prepared to use it in a situation at different levels. with this, some of the ideas that we have are being able to select a character, to customize the character that was speaking to you. Male voice, female voice, regional accent, so that we can get familiarity with regional accents, and changing the level of difficulty preparing with visual vocabulary, and then value proposition for the business need that they can pay to have a subscription or that they can pay by individual situation.
Great. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, let's go back to our evaluation schema. So, did you leverage any of the existing business assets? I think it kind of requires a little bit of work on the Longman Pearson side, but I'm dead sure they have plenty of dialogues which they can use and which are already pre-recorded, which you can use to make them into an interactive product. So that's a great approach. Addressing user needs, speaking practice is one of the core pain points, as we mentioned. And if it's something that you can do in the home, which is a convenient and comfortable, secure place for you without anybody judging you, like that happens in the classroom or with the teachers, that's great. In terms of voice as a technology, Guy?
So this one is a bit challenging because you can practice, but everyone has to be aware that this most speaker have a lot of time with accent, French accent, and other people have accent. So it's a bit hard for really helping you and correcting you. You can do listening and maybe relating to some reading can work, but correcting you as you go is a bit challenging. Technology is not there yet. So those are the things that make it tricky, but just repeating and having a situation and already listening, I think it's a good start and something that can be executed pretty fast.
So that's to the point of having your engineering team early on at the ideation stage that will really help you come up with ideas and narrow down the ideas which are technically feasible. But as a concept, that was a great one. Well, another round of applause to all of us. We really have 2 minutes left, so unfortunately we cannot share all the ideas today, but do please take my card, send me your idea, and we are happy to give you feedback. We will not take your idea. It's a fictional case study for Longman. They might. Thank you so much once again. So quick summary. Remember that you need to uncover the full spectrum of user needs before you start any ideation. Ideally, understand how you can leverage the existing business assets to the best, but at the end, try to come up with a value proposition which would be voice specific rather than porting something which already exists on your mobile app into voice. Thank you so much, and if you want to get in touch with us or stay connected, take a photo of this slide and let's keep in touch. Thank you.
Just